Y'all know what it is. It's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pie. Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Tickets on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC. And remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Y'all know what it is. It's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box for boxes by Cash Apping, $, usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20, with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC. And remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
best grooming products for you. Yes, so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah, so get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. Black, yeah, the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show for Leo versus Kameda, the IBF Featherweight title that just wrapped up a short moment ago on Probox TV. This was a fight that I had a feeling it was going to be worth the while. I had done my breakdown video of these two men, and I called it a 50-50 fight. But I was hopeful that we would see something that would raise the level on either guy. And after witnessing this match, I am very happy to say that the featherweight division has a comer in Angelo Leo. It is so important for a fighter to be able to understand that to get out of the waters of comfort, familiarity, and to go to a place where you're not necessarily known, where you're not necessarily supported, where you're not necessarily considered, and to be able to prevail. And that's the lesson that we take away from a hard-fought match between these two combatants. What a fight, man. What a fight. So we're here to talk about it a little bit. You know, this was a fight that I had really no interest or investment in the undercard, but the main event was going to be something that I couldn't miss it, you guys. I told you I love the sport of boxing, and this is another lesson also to be able to watch something. You know, when you have access to watch it, you can gain not only just knowledge, but the experience of what you've taken in. It's so important. That's why I tell you guys all the time, watch boxing. Don't just watch who you like and who's from your hometown, city, state, you know, your region of the country and all of that. Just watch the sport, man. Because there's a finite limit to what can play out in action, but there's no limit on what can be revealed about what's inside the warriors who are in there. And so we were treated to something special if you were able to tune in and check this match out. So yeah, welcome to the show. I don't know how many of you that are out here viewing me presently had a chance to check the bouts out. But if you didn't check them out, please do so, because I'm going to tell you, you won't be disappointed in the performances of these two men. This was a fight that brought both from different stories and trajectories in their careers, because as far as Tomiko Kameda. This gentleman has been campaigning around bantam and featherweight for a few years. In this fight, he brought his record of 42-4 into here, and he has 23 KOs. And though the KO mark of what he brings, fighting out of Osaka, Japan, Tomoki is a fighter who is very strong. I mean, he reminds me of, at the lower weights, Sora Rungvisai, because of his strength. Not so much powerful, but very strong. And understand that being strong is a power within itself, because you can be physical. And I talked about his physicality in my breakdown video. He's 33 years of age. This was like maybe a third attempt at a world title. And though he's been denied, it's only because maybe at the end of the day, his opponents that have defeated him have had a little bit more technical proficiency, and he hadn't got the message about not just being physical and strong and pushing your opponents back or whatever, but work behind an educated jab. His body punches are very good. He's got a sneaky overhand right that I talked about in my breakdown video. And it seemed that the Leo camp were very much prepared for him. But even in his post-fight interview with Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri, Leo was able to state that he still was a little bit stronger than we had prepared for. So Kameda, whose nickname is El Mexicanito, listen, he brings the Mexican style, even more so than Angelo. But he made for a very, very competitive match. This fight was so close. I mean, the scorecards told the whole story. The scorecards read 114 to 114, 116 to 112, and 115 to 113. Very close, a majority decision in favor of Angelo Leo. Now, bringing his record of 25-1 over to Japan, the IBF title holder Leo was coming off of his August 2024 destruction of former title holder Luis Alberto Lopez, where he stopped Lopez with a stunning left hook in the 10th round of their matchup. Leo is a very good fighter, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, residing in Vegas. He showed us that his nickname, El Chinito, he is a fighter that is really ready for the tests. And he found one in Japan today in Kameda. You just don't know how a fighter is going to react when he's a fish out of water. Yeah, it's convenient. Even if you're fighting from coast to coast in the U.S., you're still within your country. Going to Japan, where you have to adjust to the climate, the atmosphere of where you're going to be performing, adjusting to the fact that the crowd won't be in your favor whatsoever, that the judges may have even less consideration for you unless you give them something to think about. And he understood that. He took to this fight and approached it like a professional. I really like what I saw out of his performance. And it was a hard fought fight. We got a chance to see what's inside of Angelo Leo. He brought it, but at moments of the fight, the physicality of Kameda put him in a position where he had to back up and step around and go back to pumping the jab and mixing shots up. He was throwing tremendous body shots. So for a 33-year-old fighter, Kameda showed resolve, because those shots were hurting to the body, but he was getting his pound of flesh in as well. It was really exciting when they were on the inside. The only thing that I really didn't like is that the referee wasn't able to take control of the way that Kameda was using his head, spearing in at moments and then using the head to push back. Referee Ignatius Misceladius, you got to get better with that, man. You got to get better, because both men are fortunate. No cuts were opened up, but there was some bruising on Angelo's face as a result of one of those initial spears early in the fight. For a fighter to keep his head off center line, it's less likely to have those moments of clashing. But you could see that it was part of Kameda's arsenal. Punches and then the head to open up space to punch. It was something that, you could see readily. Also, when this particular ref, Ignatius, would halt the action, he would not call time. So over there, they just let the clock continue to run, which was bad, because in some instances, Angelo Leo was having some advantages. Okay, and the referee might call a halt to the action to warn them to watch their heads and everything, but he's not saying time. And he's talking to them for several seconds over, and the time continues to lapse off the clock, ruining either fighter's opportunity to try to, catch up once the fight commences. Those are things that you have to watch out for as well. And the corners, you could see they kept their men focused and in the fight. But the referee was kind of off with that. So I noticed that right away. Overall, a more technical fight than I thought it might be. I thought it might be a slugfest in some instances, but it wasn't a slugfest, but it was a highly competed bout between two men whose styles meshed very well. In the case of Kameda, he likes to put his head down and dig in there and get inside and work from mid-range to close in fighting. What we didn't realize about Leo is that there were opportunities for him to do what he was doing, but he was able to switch it up and go to lateral movement in some instances and trying to circle the ring and get away from the infighting for moments at a time, where you not only could catch your breath, but you could give a fighter a different look, not just to hang inside and just, be worn and torn from infighting. Infighting is good when you can use it in an advantageous manner. You don't just languish on the inside. That's why these guys who are always trying to, oh, he ran and they say those kind of things. Those are the people who are not technically proficient enough to be able to cut rings off and to be more diverse in their approach in competing. You have to be more diverse. If you're not, you're going to find yourself in situations where, like Kameda was in this fight, you're fighting against decisions against yourself because you're not able to show diversity in your fight game. So that's something to be considered. I'm going to take a quick moment and go to the chat, see who we got out there. Got a couple people out there this early morning with us. We got Growing with Soul. He says, top of the morning, Sensei, top of the morning to you as well. Listen, Growing with Soul, that particular fight, the main event, was worth watching and tuning into. Again, you saw some good stuff happening there. And though they're featherweights, and I know there's a lot of people who profess they don't want to watch the smaller guys, 126 and below, oh, they call them the booger weights and all of this. But you can see some very good boxing when you get down to those classes, because not only is the athleticism there, power is there, mobility is there, speed is there, a lot of what people like when they watch boxing. But you rob yourself if you just want to see the big guys, because you're asking the big guys to do what they can't in some instances that these smaller men can do with such grace and aplomb. So that's something to think about and consider when you say you're going to tune in and watch boxing. He says, up and at it, just feed my livestock, now headed to work, tuning in, showing my LDBC love and support. Hey, I appreciate you, man, and have a great day, man, and have a safe day. He says, going to watch the fight after you're live. Yeah, I'm not going to hold everybody a very long time with this. This is a quick pop-up live because I felt motivated to talk about this fight. I am so proud when boxing does good things. And I will get on the track of more of what I mean by that after acknowledging our other family in the chat. Shower's out there. What's going on, Shower? Peace to you and top of the morning to you. Did you watch the bouts, Shower? Lewis Hinton is out there with the thumbs up. What's happening, Lewis? Yeah, man. But what I was going to say about being able to see the best of what boxing has to offer, this is a tremendous win for Angelo Leo, people. You have no idea. You see, just like when they talked about Errol Spence going over to the UK to defeat Kell Brook, or Ricky Burns being defeated by Bud Crawford, this fight right here, remember, Stephen Fulton went over to try to challenge Monster Inoue, or really, unify his title with Monster, and Monster defeated him, stopped him. So for Leo to go over in that environment and perform like he did, well enough to pull out a victory, even though it was a majority decision. Listen, if it's a majority decision there, what is it here? Think about it in those terms. And Leo fought gallantly. He fought well. He fought like a man with something of some sort of purpose. And thank goodness his corner prepped him for those championship rounds, that he would be ready to go out there and do what was necessary to be successful and to return with his title. Because understand, when they make fights like that, yes, that was the best money he could make fighting that guy in his home country. But now that you've done something like that, it gives you an extra boost and sort of confidence and belief in yourself as a fighter, that you can go outside of your home, your familiar waters, and that you can compete on the world stage. That's why they tell you that Olympians, watching them compete in the sport, that's very important, because you fought international competition, and sometimes the Olympics were held internationally outside of your country, and it will make a difference in your psychological approach, in your approach to what you have to do as far as focusing in on your game plan and dialing in on your opponent. And that could be the difference at the end of the day, having that type of experience. Shower says, yes, Leo did himself justice by stepping out and using the jab. Otherwise, Kameda was stealing moments on the inside. Yeah. And that's why I said about the diversity. You know, the diversity, being able to do more than one thing. Getting back to the jab. It is important to know how important the jab is in boxing, people. You don't need to be a knockout puncher to be able to win fights. You can be a boxer, and if you have a great jab, you're on your way. And a great jab can come. You may not start off with one, but you learn how to use the jab. I've done Tuesday Tussle specials on how to use the jab. And if you guys haven't seen that, go into the archives and check that show out, because that is a lead into what you see, especially like in a fight like this morning, with Angelo having to get out of what was the comfort zone for Kameda. Because even though he could trade his shots and get his pound of flesh as well, that's where Kameda lives. And you never want to remain where the other fighter lives, because the favor will be there for that fighter, the familiarity will be there for that fighter, and the comfort and confidence that those watching and judging, they know that that's where he makes his living, and you're actually submitting to that and giving in. No. So being able to step outside and pump that jab, sometimes doubling and tripling it up, and throwing straight shots, because the quickest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And Kameda likes to hook to the body and hook to the head and loop his punches. So when Angelo was able to get back on the outside and do that, he was having some success that put him in a favorable light. And I'll tell you something else. A lot of the spearing with the heads and stuff like that, those straight punches, man, let me tell you something. More than head clashes, Kameda running into straight shots, the jabs, the right hand, straight down the middle. He get tired of that. And I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes with a high guard and your hands up, you're punching the opponent's gloves into his own face. You understand? That's where the bruising around the eyes and stuff happens. That's where you saw that when Dmitry Bivol was fighting Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev was punching those gloves, and Bivol was punching himself because of the gloves, the high guards. You have to be able to recognize that when it's happening. But yeah, what a good fight, man. What a good fight. I can't wait to watch it again, because I caught it. I think I picked it up at the end of the second round or so, because I almost overslept. But I wanted to watch that fight, man. I wanted to watch it, and I'm glad I did. I'm better off as a result of having check that out, because that was high caliber stuff there, you guys. And just because a guy is from Japan, please don't write them off. Japan has a resurgence in those lower weight divisions, especially, of good fighters, man. And guys like Inoue, Nakatashi, I'm sorry what the gentleman's name is if I'm getting it wrong. And then the guys like Kameda, and now you got Jin Susaki, who's getting ready to fight Brian Norman Jr. very soon. And that's not going to be a cakewalk for Brian Norman. I favor Brian, but it's going to be something else. That whole experience, you don't know how a fighter is going to receive it until they're placed in that position. Something to think about and bear watching. You know what I mean? Shower says Leo was getting drawn in because he likes to throw them hooks on the inside too. That jab was backing Kameda up, and at times in the end keeping him hesitant. Yeah, Juno Nakatani, Shower says, I like him. Yeah, see, that's the guy. I couldn't say his name. It's early. I'm a little tongue-tied because I feel still a little fatigued. But hey, you guys, don't sleep on those Japanese fighters, man. Don't sleep on them. There's some good fighters over there. And for some of these Western world fighters who haven't been like really putting that work in to their craft and the dedication, they're going to get exposed, because those men over there are fighters. We just saw that what's his name, Monster Inoue in a knockdown drag out just last month. Not last month, earlier this month, couple weeks ago, we saw him, and though he shows vulnerabilities and everything, he got a lot of warrior in him. And it's like, you can dislike him because he's a Japanese fighter. You could dislike him because he's a little guy. You could dislike him because you don't know a lot about him. But if you watch boxing, then you'll be able to see the differences about who is really building and who is really just kind of existing in the sport. And we see that a lot. We see that a lot. A lot of the fighters from the U.S. have taken on a different approach to their craft, and it's one of the reasons why they're being passed up by other fighters in different parts of the world, because they're just not investing in their craft. They're not looking to get better. They're not looking to ascend to a different level. And that requires work, application, dedication. And your dedication shouldn't just be to the bag. It's like, come on, man. Come on. So, but yeah, I see we got, it's about 5 people out here, 6 people. Can you all put a 1 in the chat to who watched the fight? I know Shower did, but yeah. Great stuff though. Great stuff. And then we got to come back in the later part of the morning for the Josh Taylor and Eko Isuman fight. And that kid Moses Atuma that they want to highly rate and tout, he's fighting on there. And there's a couple of other people that are on that card, and can't wait to see what's happening with that, because I'll tell you, man, fighters fight. Josh Taylor's been out for a while since the Teofimo loss. And this kid, assuming, I call him a kid, but he's 30 plus years of age. He wants to prove himself against Taylor. And if Taylor, who's been known to have some issues outside of the ring with, you know, getting out of shape and the bottle and all of that, hey, if he don't have what needs to be there, Assuming will show him. The guy's never been knocked out, and he's a strong fighter. And Taylor is not one for people who move around and stuff. And Assuming doesn't move around, so he's going to be there for Josh. But will Josh be there? Will he be in for a tough one? We'll find out. Because Catterall boxed him, drew him in early, thought he was going to languish on the inside, but then start moving around, picking his shots and picking Taylor apart. So that's always a part of it as well when you think about it. So yeah. So yeah, man. Great fight, huh? Great fight between these guys. Those featherweights, they've always been something. You remember when Prince Nassim was at featherweight? You remember when Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and what's his name? Juan Manuel Marquez, all those guys were at featherweight. Kevin Kelly. Man, there was a time when that division was so hot, man, with talent. It's like every time you turn boxing on, it was one of those guys fighting at that division. So don't sleep on those guys. They may be small, but they can get it on, man. They can really get it on. So yeah, you know. But I enjoyed this fight. And I am so happy for Angelo Leo. I'm happy for him. Not that I had anything against Kameda. But being that he's a new champion or new titleist, and this was his first title defense against a tough cookie, man. It's like he could have lost this fight, you guys. But he won. And that does so much for him, that it builds him up for whatever's ahead in the future for him. And you can only hope the best for guys like that, because he's in a position now to, you know, okay, I can do it. And I'm a champion. Yeah. You know, be known for being a world champion over just being a titleist, because a titleist is someone who holds a belt. A champion is someone who has defended the belt consistently. And though this was his first defense, he really represented himself quite admirably. And that's what you can ask for someone who's homegrown. So yeah, I enjoyed that, man. I really did. So. Yeah, but I just thought I would come and give my, you know, quick post-fight thought on this. You know, I'm not going to hold you guys too long. Maybe I can nod off a little while till I catch this fight on DAZN that's coming up in the morning. So, like, I just, I'm a boxing person. That's why I love the sport. You know what I mean? So it's what I do, you know what I mean? But let's hear from my man, the Focus Ball, huh? Yeah.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Yeah, so we've come to the end of the post-fight show. Leo versus Kameda, the IBF Featherweight title, which was held over in Japan. Angelo Leo had a successful defense of his title with a majority decision victory over Tomiko Kameda, a tough challenger and a tough situation to be in to win under those circumstances. So we'll be back later in the day for a post-fight after we get a chance to see Taylor versus Essuman. And just know that we're going to continue to try to bring you the most quality of content covering the sport of boxing. This is Stormybman. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys later. Peace to everybody. Enjoy your holiday weekend.
Are you shocked, Mr. Williams?
Only at how sloppy your man works.